friends, it's Layle with Layle by Mail. In this video, we're going to do a flip through of my lists, my creative lists in my Traveler's Notebook for the months of November and December of 2020. In the description of the video down below, I've also included a link to the flip through that I recently did of the lists from June through October of 2020. All right, the first one here is school lunch. So we listed about some of our favorite memories from school lunch way back in the day. So this was in October of 2020 and just listed some different things that I remembered. The aluminum divided lunch trays. Now I'm really going to date myself here. Lunches were 80 cents and you could buy an extra milk for 10 cents. Crazy. Anyhow, so that was a fun one as we kind of reminisced about school lunch back in the day. Videos that I have or had back at the end of October on my list of videos that I wanted to film. So I thought this one was kind of fun because I used a piece of striped pattern paper and then alphabet stickers that coordinated with, or kind of matched, I guess, each of the stripes there, as those were the topics. Oh, look at list, a flip through video of my listing Traveler's Notebook. So I could check that one off now. But COVID I've done. So a couple of these I still have on my list of things to do. So we'll get there, right? This one, and every time I said this, I had to say it this way, when I was a kid. So things that I remembered from when I was a kid, things like having to get up to turn the channel on the television, right? Rolling down the window and what that meant, dialing the phone and what that meant. So that was a really kind of fun one, a reminiscent one. As I'm listing and as I'm doing my Saturday sessions, I often talk about how our lists are telling a story, right? This tells a very specific story about my childhood. And if I had my children fill out this list, obviously their list would be very different. So kind of a time capsule of sorts, and that's one of the things I love about listing. Continuing on with my About Last Month series. So this was, I was listing about the different things that happened in the month of October of 2020. So following the same format that I showed from June through October, where I am adding kind of 5 photos over here, doing some decoration. And then over here, I have just a run-on list of different things that took place that prior month. Some of them would be things that took place in my life or in my city, state, country. And then other things I had just highlighted those words. So I used letter stickers to highlight a couple of key things that happened throughout that month. This one, oh yes, why I like to list. So this was a little 2-pager and I just named some reasons why I like to list. One of the big things for me, it's a creative outlet. Another big one, to cross things off of a list when they're done. Am I right? In fact, I know some of us call our to-do list a to-done list because we get so much satisfaction out of crossing things off of our list when we're done. And I know I'm not the only one out there that does this. When I am making a list, if it's a to-do list, sometimes I will add things to my list that I've already done just so I can get that kind of endorphin of checking them off. Love to do that. All right, now we're going to roll into a few lists that I haven't quite finished yet on my list of things to do is to come back and finish these. States I've been to. So I fell short Nevada. I've been to far more states than Nevada, but I just need to kind of give this one a quick finish. What I ended up doing was going back and putting check marks next to the states that I have been to. And I haven't checked, I've been to those states, except for Montana, I think. Anyhow, but I will finish that list off. Add it to my to-do list. This one, what I love about Poe, and these were things that I loved about our kitty, who has since passed away. So I did this list and then I thought it would be fun. I had left a blank page. Growing up, we had dogs. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to do a coordinating list of things I loved about our dogs from when I was a kid. Another thing on my list to finish up. And told you we were in a little pattern here. I also need to finish this one up. This is a favorite toys list. So a list of some of my favorite toys when I was a little kid. So I had found some of the toys online on Google and basically right clicked on any of those photos on Google and saved them to my camera, and then used my Epson PictureMate PM400 to print out those little photos with the Epson Creative Print app. And that is what lets me add all those little photos to one 4x6. So a little pocket there. And I need to do my list here. I think what I'll probably do on the back side of this photo is maybe do just a little bit of journaling about some of those toys and why they were my favorites. But look at this one, I swear, my all-time favorite, that little Drowsy doll, the Easy Bake Oven, the Spirograph. Oh my gosh, that little Barbie, I think, that you could dress up or, you know, fix her hair and her makeup. The Weebles. Oh, so many good toys from when I was a kid. All right, next up, this was in November, so different things I was thankful for. Also in November, things I want to do more of. Usually always at the top of that list, exercise, right? Do more reading, experimenting with cooking. So this is, I think, one of those lists that is a good thing to look at maybe every 6 months, every year, because for a lot of us, the things that we want to do more of may be changing. So that's when you could add on your rotation. This is another one that you could add on your rotation of lists. Prices of everyday items. So like here's a prime example. This was November 21st of 2020. Gas back then was $2.30 a gallon. Today is August 5th of 2021. And I think gas is like in the high threes, and maybe even some 4 in some areas. So gas price has changed quite a bit. Another good one maybe to do every year or every couple of years. This or that. So this or that edition, I think we've done one of these before. Basically, I am picking 2 things and deciding which one I prefer. So real tree or fake tree, Hallmark Netflix, Santa unwrapped presents, Santa wrapped presents, pine scent versus cinnamon scent. So this is kind of a this or that holiday edition that we did. Favorite Christmas movies. Again, another photo. This is also a 4x6, but went to Google, right-clicked on those movie poster images, and then printed them out on a single 4x6. One of my very favorites, though, is The Family Stone. Oh, love, love, love that movie. But of course, the classics: Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, Elf, Christmas Story. Of course, also Rudolph and Frosty the Snowman. Rudolph and Frosty equals Rudy. All righty. My holiday bucket list. So some things that I wanted to do over the holidays last year. Also documented our holiday traditions. So some of the different traditions in our family. And I love using different things like these little puffy stars for bullets. So in this case, I used puffy stars. Over here, I used number stamp kind of for the bullets. Here I used circle stickers, so lots of different options. About last month, for the month of November, again, 5 photos and my run-on list. Now in this case, 4 of my 5 photos were black and white, just because the colors here were so off. They were so different than the different stickers and things that I used that it really bothered me. So this was actually the second version of the photo that I did. And I colored everything black and white, except that last one I left it in color because it was pretty neutral. All righty. Let's see, what is this one? Oh, memorable gifts. But this one is a 2-pager. So I asked the 4 people in our immediate family, my husband and our 2 boys, what their favorite gifts were. And I added mine as well. Okay, this is actually a printable that I wrote on. The printable is from In a Creative Bubble. So I will, in the description of the video, I will link to traveler's notebooks that I have on my website, but then a lot of the stickers and things that that I use in my listing, you'll also find on my website. I will also include a link to that Epson PictureMate PM400 printer. favorite holiday memories. So in this case, for the little bullets, I used a little kind of holly stamp. I love Christmas lists. I just think they're so fun. I have quite a few of them. Christmas songs, another little stamp for the bullets, and those that's a hello candy cane stamp. So different Christmas songs, obviously some classics like White Christmas, Bing Crosby, Carol of the Bells, Winter Wonderland by Dean Martin. Actually, most of what I prefer for Christmas music is probably a little bit more classic. But then this one, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas by Coldplay. That is probably one of my most favorite songs, Christmas songs of all. All right, over here we have, this was just a to-do list, a list of things that I need to do to be ready for the holidays. Stocking stuffer ideas. This was a fun one when we did, well, actually we do them all live together on our Saturday sessions, but this one, it was fun because as I was listing mine in the chat, people were talking about some of their favorite stocking stuffers, some of their traditions. So we always, and I've done this since our kids were babies, bought one of the, I don't even remember the name anymore, the brand, but the chocolate oranges, and that would always go in the toe of the sock. So that's kind of a fun list because this one you can come back to every year and kind of refer when it's time for stocking stuffers. This one, some of my favorite foods. So this one was a very interactive list on both sides. So over here, some of my favorite holiday foods. Here I created a waterfall. So I've used washi to adhere 2 cards to the back and front of, well, not to the, let's try that again. Washi adhered to the front, part on the card, part on my insert. Also the back, part on the card, part on my insert. So this gives me quite a lot of room for doing my journaling of some of our some of my favorite holiday foods. Also leaves me room if I'd like to add photos. I could come in and add photos to the back of a waterfall like this, or even do a little bit more journaling right there. Over here, this is, let's see. Oh, I know. So what I did here, been a little while. I created a pocket. So as you can see, I created a little pocket right there. It's actually a gusseted pocket. So I gave it a little bit more room by adding a little bit of additional paper to the sides. And these were different memories, basically what I did every day during the month of September, really the 1st through the 24th. And so you just see what I've done there. So this is kind of a nice little recap list. And then I have just clipped those together with a large paper clip, and in they go to the pocket. All right, Christmas things that made me laugh. Oh, things that made me laugh this Christmas. And that's just kind of a really generic list. That could be things that make me laugh this summer, things that made me laugh this month, things that made me laugh this year. So that's kind of a really good generic prompt for a list. This one I had, oh, I know, this favorite gifts back here. This favorite gifts list that I did was favorite, most memorable gifts that I think I have given. And this one, I had plans to go back and ask my husband and the boys their favorite Christmas gifts. So I still need to do that one. Maybe I'll do that one this year. Then we kind of I worked into some 2020 lists. So for all of 2020, I think this is one of my favorite lists that I have ever done. And this is a list topic that I will do at the end of every year going forward. This is things I did well this year. This is really hard for us to do, right? It's hard for us to sit down and look retrospectively at things that we did well. We're very good at identifying things that we didn't do well, but taking the time to sit down at the end of a year and looking at things that you did do well, I think is really important. So things I did well this year, 2020. Then we moved into things I want to forget. 2020 was a banner year of wanting to forget things, wasn't it? Obviously, COVID was a big part of 2020. So I made a list of things that I wanted to forget for 2020. Lots of things. Masks, the 24-hour politics, different things like that. Canceled plans. Another one, things I learned in 2020, right? So at the end of the year, again, this is a great topic to do every year, things I learned in 2020. How to master second and third day hair. Face masks can be a fashion accessory, right? Lots of things. 2020 in numbers. So I did a little Googling here and Googled kind of nationwide what some common things were, like average cost of a new house, average income, average cost of a new car, a movie ticket, average monthly rent if you rent. And these aren't for any particular area. So, and I just Googled. A postage stamp was 55 cents, and then had to grab the COVID. COVID cases in the U.S. were 13.6 million in 2020. This was another fun one, 2020 trends. Again, another list that I think I will start doing at the end of every year. Things like face masks, loungewear, baking bread, right? There was a whole thing about baking bread where people were baking bread during COVID. Baby Yoda was another big one, Tiger King, oh my gosh, right? Hoarding toilet paper. So this is a great list to kind of look back on. And I wish I had something like this for past years because I think it would be really interesting to look at. Then we have about last month for December. So this rounded out, just about. Oh, it didn't. It rounded out almost my About Last Month series for 2020. Again, 5 photos, my run-on list with a couple of more important things, I guess, or not necessarily important things, but words that I wanted to stand out. So then we moved into about this year, or about last year, 2020. And I did the exact same thing, but it was a recap of the full year. And this was super easy to do because I had started doing this in August. Now for 2021, I continued. So at the end of 2021, it will make it super easy for me to do this because all I'll need to do is go back to each of my About Last Months for the month and pull out some key photos and identify in my list of lists or in my run-on list the things that happened. So tons of fun. And for this one, instead of doing the 5 photos like I normally did, this one had 10 just so I'd have a few more photos to represent the year. And this was the end of this particular Traveler's Notebook insert. This was an Allie Edwards printable. It said goodbye 2020. So that wrapped up 2020. And that takes me into my listing starting in January of 2021. So next week I will be back with another video doing a flip through of my Traveler's Notebook lists for the first couple of months of 2021. Double check the description down below for a link to my past flip through listing videos. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.